Hello, this video is a little bit about headstands. So headstands, because people are always like, oh, yoga headstands, and they're kind of fun. They're really good because they turn you upside down, make you see things different way, and obviously feel things different way. But my grandma was a yoga teacher, and for a while the oldest yoga teacher in the world, although I never quite made it through the Guinness Book of Records paperwork. And she always said that headstands was for the crazy people. She did not approve of headstands at all. And what I'm going to teach you is a headstand, but it's a headstand where we're not really putting pressure on the head. It's more like an elbow stand where the head can at some point make contact with the floor, but we're not going to do head contact. So at the moment, and I'm definitely not doing it in a video. So please be aware that whatever you see, especially with my hair, which kind of goes all over the place, it's so important that if you're wanting to do this video, please do not do it with your head touching the floor. We definitely want to keep the back of the neck really safe. And the other thing is, if you just want to check down here, this is contraindications. There's obviously loads of things that can go on in bodies, so please have a quick check here before you go ahead, just to see if there's anything that can make this safer and better for you. Anyway, let's go for it. So when I start a headstand, one thing is the position of the elbows. So often people end up with this sort of a position. So elbows wide. When I think about doing headstand, I'm always thinking about my elbows being more or less in line with my shoulders, which when you look at this in front of, when you see this video, what you see is all of her arms just look straight. But when I look down, I end up looking like this. So I feel like when I'm looking at my own arms, my elbows are coming closer in than it looks like from the outside. So we're looking for a fairly narrow base of the elbows. And then there's lots of different ways to do it and lots of pros and cons. But what I'm going to teach you today is against a thing. So something that doesn't move, like a wall is even better, but I'm going to use a wardrobe. And you just lightly bring your hands together, soft fingers. So if this starts to happen, we're out, okay? So it needs to be nice, soft fingers. And then what I always do is I put my thumbs up at the back. And if you don't like crossing your fingers, it can be like this. What we're doing is we're making connection between the hands, so we've got a connection through the elbows, through the rest of the body, so that we're kind of a unit rather than like nice tight hands and not really angles and levers. So soft fingers, thumbs pointing up. I use this because this is where I put my head. I bring my head back into my thumbs and it tells me where my head is compared to the rest of my body. I'm sure there's other ways of doing it, but that's what I like. So starting, bringing yourself in front of a thing that doesn't move. See, no movement, all good. Do check it, and when you're thinking about position, think about what's to the left, what's to the right. Because a beautiful thing to happen is that you come up and you've checked out this area, but you've forgotten that there's an object on a set of drawers here, and you go sideways and smash into it. Not good. So check your area is safe to the sides, above, below, blah, blah. So fingers lightly joined, thumbs pointing up. Bring your head back so it just touches your thumbs. You're not pressing your thumbs, you're just making a little bit of contact. Check that your hands are nice and relaxed. From here, just lift up with the hips, and then you can start to walk your feet in. And you can just have a little play around here so that you can use your knees bent, or you can have your knees straighter. What we're doing is we're playing with the centre of gravity over the shoulders. We're also doing a little bit of stretching through the feet and just checking the legs are ready. Bring yourself down for a moment, let your head rest, have a little move around, check how that felt. So it's really important when we're taking steps towards something that we are kind of aware of the different steps. So I could go quicker straight into this because I do this fairly often. But for you, you might need to do a bit of this, go, all right, how does my hips feel? How does my breathing feel? How am I in this moment? But I'm going to take you through it slightly quicker, just so that you can see what the steps are. So head settles back towards the thumbs, hips lift up, and then from here lift one leg And do you know what that bouncing we were doing earlier? So I'm just lifting off with my foot. And do you see I'm beginning to get a little bit lighter, and I'm leading whichever leg I lift, that's the one that's going to lead me up there. And then I'm going to use the centre of gravity, just pivot over with my hips, hopefully, and it'll all happen. So, head comes down, and imagine I'm going down through my elbows, but I'm going up through that top foot. And this top foot, because I'm quite close to the wall, it's really easy. I just find it, and I don't have to go too far over. Then I can even myself up, apart from I'm going to wobble a bit just now. And then at some point, come back down again. Whenever you come down, your head needs to come down onto the ground. You need to let yourself rest. You need to let your body settle back to natural and neutral. So even when demonstrating, I'm going to do that. So I'm giving myself a little bit of time to come back and become quieter. So from here, the next step is to move away from your area of support. So you get more movement through the hips, more movement to tip back. So start close in so that you're really, really safe and nothing can go wrong. And you remember the whole time my head's not touching the floor, even if my hair makes it look like that. So then moving yourself back incrementally, so this is a big jump back. I would go much smaller if you've not done this. So same thing, lifting up with the hip. I'm pressing down with my elbows to lift with my hand. I've not found the wall yet, but I know I can do. There, found it there. And then from here I can lift my leg up, I can kick around, or I can just decide that I've had enough of that and break on my own rules by not putting my head down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do one that I just want to do for myself, and I'm just going to see what happens, rather than talking through it the whole time. After a while you get into the feeling of the body where you start to notice there's a kind of deep internal tummy movement that starts to help bring the hips up. And the next stage is obviously to go completely freestyle. I just wanted to say, if you find that these steps don't work for you, or if there's some bits that your body can't do, this is why it's so important to have a regular yoga practice and to be doing all the more, kind of other poses like dog pose, leg stretches, shoulder work, elbows, arms, bodies, so that it all comes together, so that all the little steps before we even think about headstand are there. So dog pose being a classic one, then elbow dog, then up into headstand. But if there's something that you think, no, this totally doesn't work for me because I can't, let me know, and then I can do a special video just on how to do a headstand if this is your issue. Thank you.